Dave, we just talked to Connor. He said,
Yep.
Felt good today. He wasn't necessarily planning to skate with the big group, but ended up making that decision. So what did you see out of him, and what's your sense of his timeline?
He's moving very well. Like if you walked in there and just looked at him, you wouldn't know that there's an injury. I mean, he's moving that well. So first kind of full day, like he almost had 2 sessions today. So we'll see where it is in the morning. And this is his day to day now. It's when he thinks he can play and when the doctors give him the okay to play.
So not ruling out tomorrow. He didn't rule out tomorrow night, but that's your sense too, is you'll see tomorrow?
Yeah, we'll see where it is tomorrow. I mean, it's one of those things. He took a good step today, so let's see where it is tomorrow. Let's not overpromise anything.
We should have any say in that. You don't give any say.
If it was just all my say, play. Right? It's not all my say. So you never want to put the player in a bad position. He's got to know he can do the job out there. The doctors certainly have a say in it. It's an injury that they want to make sure is healed, and you can't hurt any worse. We can't, I'd rather take an extra couple days now than have him set back a week or 10 days. So those are all decisions that are bigger decisions than me as a coach, and you got one of the top players in the world sitting there and you want him to play, hey, I'd like him to play, but we'll see where that goes. There's a lot more to it than that.
As a coach of this team, they've put together an excellent record here. We lost good teams. You're winning with the best player of the lineup and several others. Are you looking at your playoff chances today differently than even you did?
No, I'm looking at our playoff preparation the same. Like everything we've done since training camp is we want to earn the right to be a playoff team. So, right now we've gone through some challenges with some of the injuries, and there's some parts of that I think has helped our team grow because you have, you recognize how you have to play, and the players recognize it, not the coach. Like the coach can talk about playing sound hockey and, not giving things away, and that's a lot of times that's just a nicer way of saying let's play good hockey like playoff hockey, but you got to play like playoff hockey in the regular season if you want to earn the right to be a playoff team, and that's what this stretch has showed. Like our team has competed really hard. You recognize there's people out of the lineup that are impact people, but you band together. You still got to try to find a way to win, and that's the way it is in the playoffs. If you get in a hard playoff series, you got to find ways to win. And that's what our group is focusing on right now. And I like the way they've come together. Like there's real positive kind of vibes through our team right now, and it's because of how hard we're working. And if we continue to work that hard and keep finding ways to win games and get points, we'll earn the right to be a playoff team. And then when we get there, hopefully we're well prepared as a playoff team. So those things I've been preaching since day one, and I don't look at the standings any different now. We have to continue to play well if we're going to be a playoff team.
Could you speak to the fact that against teams that are currently sitting ahead of you in the overall standings, I think your record is 11-5-2, and yet the teams that are below you, who you're going to be playing a lot in the next week or two, not so much.
You know what, Terry? To tell you the truth, I think every team is tough. I think every team is hard to beat. There's not a team in this league that you can't lose to on any given day. Now, that being said, you have the top teams. There's a focus that goes into those. I think players look at top teams and they say, we got to play well or we're going to get embarrassed tonight. So there's different sentiments that go into every game, but we want to be competitive. We want to be like one of those top teams, and we're working our way to that level. And we haven't got to that level yet, as if you look at the standings. But we want to continue to get better, and those top teams are great challenges for us.
On defense, Bear made the team out of camp. Jones seems to be. You referenced last night Lagesson playing, I think, almost 5 minutes, killing penalties. Relatively inexperienced defenseman overall. So most coaches I talk to, they like veterans because they've been through the battles, but these guys are kind of proving it. So how do you approach and how much confidence do you have in them as the games do get more heated and more important?
Well, I think we've played Bearsy so many minutes now, we'll give him the pass as a veteran now, even though it is his first year, but he's played really well, played a lot of situations. So, but those other young guys, the opportunity, and it's funny, like it really, I can't understate how valuable the development in the American League is for these players, because if they're real young players, they come in and there's a mental aspect of it, a physical aspect of it, and a skill aspect of it. And younger players have a hard time balancing all three. You get a guy like Lagesson or a guy like Jones who's put some time in, or Bearsy for that matter, they put some time in, they have a level of confidence that they can play pro. They know, they understand you're going to play against men, you're going to play against good players. They understand how the game works tactically, structurally, and they start to understand their roles within a team. So as those things become clearer and clearer in their mind, they're able to block a lot of the other stuff out and concentrate on what they're really supposed to be doing. And that's where those players are. Like that experience, that coaching staff down in Bakersfield's done a great job with all those guys. Even a guy like Benson and Yamo, they've done a great job in preparing these guys. So credit to them, but also credit to the players coming up that they recognize that they're good enough to be in the NHL, and to stay here they have to play with confidence, and there's a maturity that comes with that these players, once they get the opportunity, they take it and run with it, and that's what you're seeing a little bit right now. So from my end, they're young players. You got to give them the opportunity because of injury, but you like to see them succeed because they make your team deeper. I told Jonesy a story, or Jim Playfair and I were both, I'm not even sure if Jim was in Arizona yet, but Keith Yandel was a player a lot like Jonesy, had come up and we protected him, and he was in and out of the lineup a little bit, and we ran into a rash of 5 or 6 injuries on defense, and we went on a Western trip here, and he played, I think it was 5 games in a row, he played over 30 minutes, and to this day he's never backed up. It was just that was his coming out party, and Jans jumped in there. He played unbelievable in those games. I think we won 4 of the 5 games or something, and Yandel's been a top defenseman in the league ever since. So opportunity, when it knocks, you love to see players take it. You saw Bear take it. Now you hope Jones takes it. I mean, those are the way you find real good players and build a real good team.
Dave, can you talk about your approach to like the mental side when you're a coach? I noticed last night, 5 minutes into the game, home ice against the best team in the league, and you have, whatever you want to call them, your third or fourth line, Caves line out, and an offensive zone face-off against Bergeron. You had change, and you didn't take them off. I'm assuming that gives them lots of confidence, just to, hey, the coach believes in us. How important is that, rather than just telling guys you believe in them, but to show them or challenge them that in any situation, I believe you can do the job?
I believe everybody can do the job, and when you put a player in that position to do it, when they're there, if you think about it, if they think that they can't do the job, then they're going to show you. When you call their name and they go out and they get the job done, and they might not get the call next time because you might have somebody else that in the rotation or the matchup you want, but at that point in the game, I wanted to get everybody in, and I trust that line. They work as hard as anybody, that line. They might not have the same skill as Leon's line, but they're going to give you honest work every day, and they've been good in our own end. They understand how to read coverages off face-off, win or loss face-off. So they're NHL players. They should play like NHL players, and you shouldn't be scared to put them out against anybody.
Chris Russell was out with the group today. Yeah. Like he took full practice. Are things turning a little bit in the right direction with him? Or?
Yeah, slowly going that direction. We're still... he's a question mark to come on the trip with us, so we'll see. But it's good to see him out with our group. But he's slowly, again, it's one of those, it's a little bit like Benning was earlier. We're not in a rush there. It's, you want to make sure things are right.
And Adam took that puck in the face last night. He gutted through it. He practiced today, but do you expect him to be okay after? Yeah, he was fine. He's got a bit of a swollen cheek or right below his ear or something like that, but I asked him this morning if he wanted to take the day off. He said, no, I want to skate. So that's a good sign that he's ready to go.
Just a bit of a different topic with the trade deadline coming up. As a player, I think your trade was in September, not at the
Yeah.
deadline, but was that anything, was that expected? Was that?
It's always, trade deadline, just getting traded is always something that is there, but I think it just becomes part of the game. Like I think years and years ago when I was playing, everybody used to say when your name would come out in a rumor, everybody used to say, well, if Wayne Gretzky can get traded, anybody can get traded, right? So it's part of what you deal with here. And players, it's obviously every team gets antsy for a different reason, like our team's wondering what's going to, is there going to be any addition to it? You got a lot of teams that are subtracting, I like the fact that we're talking about adding. That's a good thing. When you're in position to add, that's a good thing, right? So it's every team deals with it different. Every individual deals with it different. For me, it was it was time to move on. The only bad part for me was my wife was 8 months pregnant. She wasn't that happy about it, so. But you deal with those things too, Anyway, all right, guys.